are that Mr. Eklund was on his commit a mass murder at one of two bars in the city of Dearborn and Taylor.
Welcome to Bench Report Court Cam.
Corporal Schillingberg, are you here on both of these swear-ins?
I have just one.
Which one do you have? Because I have two.
Lee Eklund.
Eklund. All right. This is your police agency number 282TA2500-21264, the state of Michigan versus Lee Evan Eklund. Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Can you state your name for the record?
Corporal Billy Schillinger.
Have you read the type complaint that was filed with the court?
I have.
Are the facts stated in the complaint true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
They are.
Can you state the facts that support the issuance of the arrest warrant?
On July 21st, 2025, approximately 10:24 p.m., Taylor units were dispatched to 6305 Lee regarding caller witnessing our neighbor Lee Eklund outside the 6305 Beach Daily residence with a firearm, yelling at his wife, stating he was going to shoot everyone at Salerno's bar located at 25677 Van Born. Dispatch advised Lee placed the firearm in a white Lincoln town car in the 6305 Beach Daily residence northbound on Beach Daily to Van Born. Corporal Peak and Officer Pizzo arrived in front of Salerno's bar and located the white Lincoln town car. Corporal Peak and Officer Pizzo then observed a white Lincoln town car turn south onto Wilkie from westbound Van Born. Corporal Peak then turned south onto Wilkie, was behind the white Lincoln, and activated his patrol car emergency lights and advised dispatch that the officers would be conducting a felony stop on the vehicle. The white Lincoln came to a stop at Wilkie and Joan. Officer Pizzo then exited the patrol vehicle. The department issued firearm already. Corporal Peak was given verbal commands. The driver of the vehicle then leaned out of the driver's side window and attempted to speak with officers and stated his house was just around the corner. The drivers then placed the vehicle in drive, and Corporal Peak initiated pursuit with the white Lincoln. The overhead emergency lights were still activated, and the white Lincoln was traveling approximately 40 miles per hour in the residential neighborhood with a 25 mile per hour speed limit. The white Lincoln disregarded a stop sign at the intersection of Joan and Janet. The white Lincoln continued west on Joan towards Beach Daily, approximately 40 miles per hour. The white Lincoln then disregarded a stop sign at the intersection of Joan and Oldham, continuing to travel westbound. The white Lincoln then turned south on Beach Daily Joan towards the location of the original call for service at 6305 Beach Daily. The white Lincoln then turned into the driveway at 6305 Beach Daily. The white Lincoln pulled all the way into the end of the driveway by the garage door. Units then arrived on 6305 Beach Daily, and Officer Nagy exited his patrol vehicle and approached the driver's side of the white Lincoln. And then began to give verbal commands to the driver not to move with his department issued firearm drawn. Corporal Peak and Officer Pizzo then approached the Lincoln. The male later identified as Lee Eklund then exited the vehicle and was standing near the rear door of the white Lincoln. Corporal Peak then gave the verbal command to have Lee show his hands and to walk away from the vehicle due to a possible firearm being in the vehicle. Lee then continued near the vehicle, and due to the knowledge of possibly a firearm in the vehicle, Corporal Peak then grabbed Lee's arm and pulled away from the vehicle. Corporal Peak and Officer Nagy then escorted Lee to the ground into the grass near the driveway. Officer Nagy then handcuffed Lee. Pizzo then approached the white Lincoln and observed a black shotgun in the rear seat of the Lincoln. Corporal Peak and Officer Pizzo then escorted Lee to his feet into patrol car 231. While escorting Lee to patrol car 231, Officer Pizzo could smell alcohol emanating from his person. Corporal Hudson then completed the inventory search of the vehicle and secured the shotgun in the rear of his patrol vehicle. Officer Pizzo then spoke to Diane Eklund, who is Lee's wife. She had just arrived home and she observed Lee to be in an agitated state. Lee then stated he was upset that two females from a bar he was at early in the evening did not allow him to use the pool table, which resulted in him being kicked out of the bar. Lee then proceeded to state that he was going to go back to the bar and shoot everybody in it. Lee then went downstairs to the basement at 6305 Beach Daily and grabbed a shotgun. Diane then observed Lee with the shotgun and attempting to exit the residence. Diane then placed her shoes outside, which was an indicator to her neighbors that she was in trouble. Lee then exited the residence with the shotgun still in his hand, creating a verbal argument between Diane and Lee. Diane then observed Lee place the shotgun in the rear seat of his white Lincoln, and Diane then observed Lee to flee from the residence at White Lincoln north on Beach. Diane stated Lee was consuming alcohol prior to leaving the residence and observed multiple bottles of alcohol on the couch where he was sitting. And Diane stated Lee has been homicidal prior to today's incident. She does not feel safe in the same household as Lee. Corporal Peak and Officer Pizzo transported Lee to the Taylor Police Department jail without incident. And while transporting Lee to the Taylor Police Department's jail, Lee made an excited utterance of him being a drunken fool. Due to the smell of alcohol emanating from Lee and Diane's statement of consuming alcohol prior to leaving the residence, Corporal Peak asked Lee if he'd be willing to submit to a chemical breath test, which he agreed to. Corporal Peak then read Lee's chemical test rate, the I-176 form verbatim. Lee agreed to submit to the chemical breath test. At 11:10 p.m., Officer Pizzo completed a 15-minute observation period, and Corporal Eddings administered Lee the chemical breath test at 11:38 p.m. First sample returned with a reading of 0.174. The second sample returned with a reading of 0.16 at 11:43 p.m.
On one of the roads that he was traveling on while fleeing and eluding, I know you said it was a neighborhood, was the speed limit 35 miles per hour or less on those roadways?
Yes, it's 25 miles per hour.
All right, thank you. All right. Let the record indicate I find probable cause to believe the accused committed the alleged offense, and I'll therefore issue the warrant. And lastly, Corporal Schillingberg, did you sign the complaint and warrant before you sent it over to the court?
I did.
Any position on bond?
Not at this time. His wife is just in fear of him coming home. She said they've had several arguments in the past, and she's to the point where she has to set, belongings outside to indicate to her neighbors when she's in fear of Lee.
All right. Thank you. I'll see him this afternoon.
All right. This is 252171FY, the People versus Lee Evan Eklund.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. James Gazicki on behalf of Mr. Eklund. Waive reading of the complaint, stand mute. Your Honor, is a request for court-appointed attorney and ex parte order to preserve evidence, requesting a personal or nominal bond.
Okay. Sir, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney, and you have a right to have an attorney present during any future questioning and any future court hearings. In the event you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed to represent you. And I've signed an order appointing an attorney, so you have an attorney at your next court date. I've also signed the ex parte order to preserve evidence. Sir, you have 2 days within the next 21 days. The first is your probable cause conference, and you can appear at that hearing via Zoom. That is set for August 4th of 2025. Following that, you have your preliminary exam. At your exam, the prosecutor must show that a crime was committed and probable cause exists to charge you with the crime. And again, that hearing is set for August 11th of 2025. I understand that Mr. Auckland does not have an extensive, he doesn't have any warrants out for his arrest. I did the swearing on this case, and the allegations are absolutely insane. The allegations, Mr. Gazicki, if you're not aware, is that Mr. Auckland was drinking at a bar and got mad because someone wouldn't let him use the pool table. So he went home, got a gun, loaded the gun, made statements that he was going to go shoot up the bar. And then he went on a chase with police through the neighborhood. When the police were contacted and tried to stop him, he was found with a loaded firearm in the back of his car. There's also an allegation that police officers received contact from Dearborn Heights because he was at another bar in Dearborn Heights and they removed him from the bar. And the allegation is then that he took his gun up to that bar and that they had to lock the doors of the bar to keep him out. He came there with a black shotgun and attempted to get in the building. So this is certainly, I understand, the highest charge against him for some reason is a 5-year felony. But the allegations are that Mr. Eklund was on his way to commit a mass murder at one of two bars in the city of Dearborn and Taylor. A personal bond is absolutely not appropriate. A high cash bond is appropriate given the facts of this case. He has a $250,000 cash or surety bond. If he makes bond, he has a GPS tether. Sir, you're to appear in court as directed. You're not to leave the state without permission of the court. You're not to commit any new crimes while released. You're to immediately notify the court of change of address or phone number. You cannot have access to firearms or ammunition. You cannot return ever, while this case is pending at least, and I have jurisdiction over you. You cannot return to Salerno's bar in the city of Taylor. You also cannot return to the other bar that you're alleged to have gone to with your shotgun, sir, at Fetzer's bar. Cannot consume drugs or alcohol. If you do post your bond, you will be subject to mandatory random testing. And those are the conditions of your bond, sir. We'll see you at your next court date.
Thanks for watching. Stick around longer and click the highlighted videos to your right. See you there.